This is the 10.1 instructional video for Math 30-1. It's pretty brief. In chapter 10, we start looking at using function notation to talk about some different operations we can do on functions. 10.1 starts with probably the logical starting point, which is addition and subtraction. The only real thing I want to cover in this instructional video is the idea that we can write the addition as two kind of distinct ways, where we could write just f of x plus g of x, or we can write f plus g of x. And it's really just a little bit annoying that there's two different ways of writing it, but it is the idea that it's as simple as if f of x was equal to 3x plus 2 and g of x was equal to, let's just make it x squared, we'll make it nice and easy. So then f plus g of x, really important to notice that the function lettering itself is in its own bracket. F plus g of x, and I'm going to write both ways here, is f of x plus g of x. Students do tend to like this form because then they can substitute it with the functions themselves. So f of x, which is 3x plus 2, plus g of x, which is x squared, what that yields is, if we do the kind of standard operations, we're going to write it as x squared plus 3x plus 2. And I can say that that is f plus g of x, although typically we will use another letter to indicate that we h of x is the sum of f of x and g of x or something along those lines. It tends not to be a section that students typically struggle with very much. That being said, like any section, make sure you're doing the homework and staying caught up. This is definitely a little bit of a reprieve, I think, after especially doing chapter 9 with all those rational functions.